Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com.
Hey guys, welcome to Duel Review. We have a great week. We're going to be starting off with the comic Avengers vs. X-Men, which everyone's talking about. We're doing, for a video game, Mass Effect 3, which we got our hands on, played a lot of. Really good game. And then for our focal point, we're going to be doing the Avengers movie, which came out this weekend.
That's right, and Thursday, for our anime, we're taking a look at Speed Grapher. And then on Friday, it's our movie, Attack the Block. You might have missed it, so stay tuned for that. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Monday the 7th. We are doing the comic event, Avengers vs. X-Men.
That's right, and a lot of us have been waiting for this for a long time. We're about 3 episodes in, rounds as they call
3
them.
rounds.
It's cool because they're doing it every 2 weeks. They're doing a new round with also the verses in between, and we'll get to that. But this is, Bendis is on this, Brubaker. I mean, the writers, so good, solid story. So far, so good. Really enjoyed the first 2. So anyway, Avengers vs. X-Men, if you don't know, and you're interested in comics, I don't know who you are, but it is centering around the Phoenix Force returning to Earth.
Right.
We had just had this thing where the mutants have almost become extinct. We have Hope, who is the symbol of the new new future, the hope of the mutant
probably
kind.
why she's called Hope.
Showing that she's the first mutant born for yada yada.
And she was raised in the future by Cable.
Right. So anyway,
makes sense.
We've also had Schism lately, where Wolverine and Cyclops had at it. Wolverine has redone. He went back to New York and started the Xavier School again.
Well, I think it's the Jean Grey School, right?
Right, but it's
the Xavier School.
Yeah, and so he wants to allow the young mutants to have a life,
right.
Not just be combatants. Which Cyclops is definitely kind of following in Magneto's old footsteps, a little bit more. Which is interesting.
Well, I think he's more just trying to make sure that his race doesn't die out.
Yeah, but he's just very adamant. Like all his kids are soldiers, and it's like he's just ready.
And he's living on the island, the manifest.
So he's not
man-made island utopia.
Yeah, he's not into peace. It's very Asteroid M or whatever. It's very
very anyway. Asteroid MF.
So that's very interesting. We started off with Zero, which this is a special variant cover, which I only bought to support my local comic book store.
Right.
I would never pay $35 or whatever it was for comics at this point. I don't think they're as collectible. Although, now that we're getting into the digital age, there'll be less of these prints, so maybe they'll come back.
Yes, I agree.
When I was a kid,
I think that's what they're even trying to hope for.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there were some that were worth a lot, and then of course we got all the multiple covers that we've talked about over and over. Anyway, so issue 0, you could skip this one honestly because it doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. It talks about Crimson or Scarlet
Witch,
and the beginning of the Phoenix Force, showing up, coming to Earth. So the Phoenix Force is coming to Earth again. It's aimed at Hope. That's going to, possess her just like it did Jean Grey or whatever. And they're not really sure what the intent is or what's going to happen, so they're very fearful. Cyclops and, his camp want to defend Hope and want to kind of allow this to happen.
And try and, harness the power almost.
Yeah, there's no real option to them. And then the Avengers, at this point, they just want to, capture her, basically make sure that she's okay.
Right.
They don't want to kill her or anything, although Wolverine is kind of a side faction, and
then there's Wolverine.
He's intent on killing her just because he knows what the Phoenix Force is capable of. Of course, he lost Jean Grey just as Cyclops did, but so anyway, we've got round 1 here, and then 2, and then 3. So those are what we have so far.
Right.
The main story. 3 is a little dry for me. It's just really story heavy, as the first 2 are kind of kick ass and like, oh, my hopes and dreams, and then the third one's like, okay.
Well,
I mean, there's some cool stuff. Like I told you,
it's definitely important to have the story. So
the first half of it, I think my response is that it feels really light. Like in this era, I know there's only like 20 pages per comic, and so there is not a lot of time to do it. But it just feels like the first half of the book to me is an excuse. Is like, oh, well, we thought, no, and it really doesn't matter. I don't know, whatever. But I enjoyed the second half, so whatever. And the last, the last image is pretty cool. Logan in the snow.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
It's pretty cool. Captain America, without ruining it too much here, Captain America
Removes Wolverine from the situation.
And so
standing in the snow is pretty cool.
stands in the snow. But yeah, it's just a cool.
And he's like, "You damn fool."
But some of the art in this book too. I mean, they must have switched artists for this one. Some of it is a little flat, but it's not bad by any means. I guess it's just some of the characters look a little off. Anyway. But solid books. I'm very happy to continue collecting these. There's only like 16 or so. This is going to end in September, this event. So if you've been following Schism or whatever, then you definitely should partake, I think. You were talking about how after Civil War, not really changing much.
Yeah. It seems like, and this is we've brought this up several times, or at least I have. After these big events in the universe, not much really changes. They kind of like you used to say, or you sometimes say, they kind of bring it back to that soap opera dynamic of being
episodic state. Yeah. But that's not really true in Schism's case. I mean, Schism was a very short event. I mean, it wasn't really much of an event. It was just a storyline.
And they did split, and they're still split.
But the comics also split again, and that's another thing we always complain about is that there's there's like with this book there's like Avengers versus Secret Avengers, whatever. It's like Civil War where it filters into a lot of other books, but it's not as wide as Civil War because like every Marvel comic had Civil War tie-in.
Right.
This is not tied into every. It's just anybody on the Avengers side, and a lot of the X-Men are tied in with some spin-offs, but the core story is fun. Supplementary to this, is the large versus Avengers versus X-Men.
And let's clarify this for you people out there. There is Avengers versus X-Men. Notice the A versus X, and then there's
supplementary
Avengers versus X-Men.
I think we're just calling this versus.
Yes.
Anyway, this centers on the battles that are present in the other stories, so it's a companion piece. Like I say, supplemental. It goes along with this. It will stand alone just because it's kind of cool fight scenes.
Yeah.
But it really just elaborates on the fight scenes in this. So I can understand that they didn't want to maybe bog down the story with over complex fight scenes. And I really love the fight scenes. So that's what this is for.
Well, yeah, let's just put them both up so you can see these again. There's Avengers versus X-Men, and then there's Avengers versus X-Men.
Kind of silly. But unfortunately, the problem with this for me is that there's really no story. There's some fun factoids like just whatever. It breaks it down like did you know that Jupiter is sometimes closer to the Earth?
Right.
But it gives you like 750,000 miles or 50 whatever.
Which is cool, but it also gives you some other really cool stuff like the thing's punch is what, like 52 miles a car traveling
25 miles. Actually, that's a good fact. But then they have things like
52.
Well, was it? Maybe it was.
I thought it was 52.
But then there's things like Tony Stark is often skeptical or whatever. It's just like okay.
Was it skeptical or
ironic or I don't know.
But
sarcastic.
Sarcastic, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Anyway, I think it's worth it alongside of these, but just like it's a full $4 comic book. I really wish they had done it a little bit cheaper, just
3
because
or 2?
There's not a lot, well, maybe even just 3, and there's not a lot of story with it. It's just some kick-ass fights.
It's funny that you bring that up because one of the things that you said about Avengers versus X-Men is you don't really care about the Phoenix Force coming. You're not a huge fan of the story. You just really want to see the fight scenes.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what this is.
But I'm in it.
Again, Avengers versus X-Men, Avengers versus X-Men.
I'm in it. Same thing I was with Civil War. Like, I don't really care if mutants register. Who gives a shit? But I want to see them react to each other.
Right.
I want to see them pick sides and whatever. That's what's compelling, and that's why I think they're even doing this after the success of Civil War. I think they've had Fear itself, and they've had Schism, and I think Schism was probably just as popular as Fear itself, even though it was a much smaller thing. And so I think they're learning, or they're trying it again with doing the pit against each other. But even with Civil War, we didn't get to see mutants versus, you know what I mean? Like, and then you have Beast and Wolverine that are kind of floating in between because they're Avengers, kind of thing.
Right.
So that's compelling, that's interesting, and that has nothing to do with the Phoenix Force. Phoenix Force is just the catalyst.
Right.
Of course, there's a lot of stuff that follows around Hope. I mean, they're chasing Hope the whole time. And, Hope is okay. I mean, it's whatever. She's a powerful mutant, but she's very roguish, She, takes other powers and whatever. So I'm not really compelled there. I just want to see them interact, okay, this versus first centers around Iron Man versus Magneto. That's one fight they follow. Then they fight the Thing and Namor. That's the sort of stuff I want to see. But unfortunately, this has no story. So taken by itself, plus there's only 6 issues of this.
Yeah, there will be throughout the series. Only 6 of them.
I think this is every 4, once a month, basically. So these are every 2 weeks, the core stories,
which is nice.
And then this is once a month.
Right.
So anyway, I do like it all together. Very well worth it. Now let's get to the augmented reality thing.
Oh yeah.
Just a second though. The first thing I want to say also, this is full price, and yet, this is one of the first series that has the free digital online. This does not. So even though this is like a companion piece, it should fit right in there. It doesn't have the free online stuff.
Yeah.
Although you do get extra stuff buying this, like other stuff, like the first issue has to do with what's his name? Guy that crashes to Earth.
Oh,
Nova.
Yeah, Nova.
They have some story with Nova discovering,
which is cool.
Yeah, so it's free online. They have some stuff of Nova discovering the Phoenix Force.
Oh, no kidding! Like a little side story.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it's also done in a weird way, which I don't know if I really like. But they're trying new things. It's like it's the same panel, but they do it in stages, so it's almost like a motion comic. Like they'll have the star background, and then they'll have Nova show up. And then he'll move a little bit, and then have one line of text, and then he'll have another line of text. So it's trying to lead you and tell like.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it works, and it's also like really wide format and weird formats. Really because you're doing it on your iPad or something, or you can do it on a computer too as well. And then they have this augmented reality thing.
Oh yeah.
Which again, this has, but I don't believe that Versus has any, which is aggravating. So that's irritating that they're charging full price. It's of the same story. It's extrapolated. It's out of context, and yet it has none of these extras.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah. So the augmented reality thing. There's this little logo, the little AR logo, and really it's the panel that the logo's on. It's not just the logo. But if you take your iPhone, let's see if I got mine here. You take your iPhone, and there's an app that you download. It's just Marvel AR. You load it up, and then you'll take a picture, or you'll look at it with a video camera, because basically it boots into a video camera. You look at the AR panel, and it will have, I don't know, the writer, maybe even his image, talking about it, or it will show you the pencil to ink process, or it'll give you little factoids or little spin-off, things. When you look at the school of Jean Grey or whatever, it goes over, it gives you like little icons of a bunch of characters. Now, that brings me to one of my major complaints, is that sometimes on an iPhone, you can't always read it. It's so small, and there's no way you have to keep the whole thing in frame for it to read it.
So it's kind of better to use your
yeah, so
iPad.
I would love to use the iPad, but I have a Generation 1
tablet.
iPad. I've never had to rebuy it because this works great for me, and I usually use it just for writing and then taking notes for like Duel reviews. So I don't have any other option, so I'm forced to use this, and it really is kind of a problem because I can't see some of it. So it's cool, and it's fun. Things change when you like move the camera, but you have to keep it all.
Could you do it like with a webcam on your computer? Do you think?
I have no idea. Maybe, but you'd have to have an app. So the Mac has an app, an app store for the computer. So maybe they can.
How much was the app?
It's free.
Oh, okay.
It's free. Yeah, of course it would be free, and there's no way.
So yeah, AR, the augmented reality does not exist in the Versus. Versus, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, is signified by the big Versus symbol. He's
harping on that because
small. I hate when they do that. Like, why can't they just put down like a little thing this way you could say, hey, I'm looking for Avengers versus X-Men.
They should just call it Versus or something.
Yeah,
which I kind of think they do. So anyway, so all in all, great series. If you're not following it, you may want to look into it. Definitely want to get a box or something if you want to print copies though, because they do run out quickly around here at least.
Yes, very quickly. In fact, I think you have.
I have a second printing of round one, even though I was like the day after it released. But whatever, it didn't really bother to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't. Yeah, we did mention that you have a free digital copy. The way that happens is that there's a little patch in here at the back, right there. You'll peel that off. I actually just peel it halfway so I can read it and still leave it there, just because I'm obsessive like that. I don't want to like devalue or whatever. I'm stupid. But you type in this little code. It's just a simple line code, and then you get the comic through an app or online for free. So that's cool. I wish they would do that with all of them now. That's
we talked about
that's the irritating part about this one is I don't understand. You're making me buy this to get the full experience, and yet it doesn't carry the same benefits.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But anyway, whatever. Great series.
Yes, agreed.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Still, nothing comes close to Civil War. I love Civil War. In fact, there's still books I haven't read of Civil War, and every once in a while I'll find a new one. Like I just recently read some Deadpool one, stuff like that. So
yeah, there's also a bunch of trades now. I saw Frontline, and I was thinking about getting that because that was one of my favorite storylines.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take the opportunity now to announce our winner of our contest month or week or
over the last couple weeks.
And that would be Figured Out 95, who suggested the Max comic, which
that's right.
You and I we both read. We watched it on MTV.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we get up to speed. Because, we watched the animation and we did read the comic a long time ago.
Right.
So we want to do it justice. So give us a couple weeks and we'll review it. But you are the winner and we'll be contacting you shortly and you'll be able to pick up one of our shirts. This is the Grift logo shirt.
And I have one under here, but it's under here.
It takes too long for him to...
Yeah, do you really want to see me start taking off clothes?
But it is this color. That's nice.
It's red. It is red.
But you can go online to spiderwolf.com to see all our wares, all our different shirts. And you Figure It Out 95. Just go on there and figure out which shirt you want.
And then tell me.
We'll get in contact.
I'll contact you.
Okay, follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, tell us what you think.
That's right. Aww.
Really? Nothing else? Coming up, the third installment of Mass Effect. Yeah.
It's in frame! I can see your glass of water!
It's a new week, it's a new shirt. Nick again is not doing his job. He's gonna prove that he's doing his job underneath his other shirt. There you go, but then he buttons it back up and he's not doing his job.
Hey guys, we got a great show for you coming up this week. We have the Avengers vs. X-Men, we have Mass Effect 3, and we have the Avengers movie, which we recently saw.
That's right, we're going to take a look at, sorry, you threw me off.
Speed Grapher and Attack the Block.
I was expecting a little bit more of a, I don't know, just laid back.
Oh, laid back.
But whatever.
Hey guys.
He's so infuriating, man.
What we're gonna do for you,
give him an inch, he takes a freaking mile.
What we're gonna do for you today is we're gonna go over like Avengers vs. X-Men.
All laid back,
all laid back, shit, whatever. It happens.
Out of focus because I'm so far laid back. And say it's a great week, not. Hey, we have a great show this week. Just one, you have to figure out which one.
It's up to you to decide. Please vote.
No, it's not. One of them's good. We know it. You just have to figure out which one.
The rest of them are crap. We're going to make you suffer and watch all of them. Yeah. Okay. Hey, guys. We got a great week for you this week. We got a great week for this week. I'm sorry.
Hey, guys. Hey, we got a great week for you today.
Hey, we got a great week. Hey.
Who watches Happy Days?
What? Everyone does.
I hated Happy Days.
Hey.
I even hated the song. It was like a warning, though.
Oh, what's going on?
It was like, turn the channel.
What's going on?
Yeah, you haven't seen me, like, sometimes when there's something that... I'm like, like I try to drown out the theme music or something. I'm like, give me the remote, change the channel, change the channel! Like a freaking Orange County Housewives or some shit. It's literally what I do. Man.
It's like I'm like
la 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 la.
Why do you laugh?
Because I don't want it in my head. I don't even want to think about the stupid show because it's such a piece of shit.
It's like if you listen to too much of it, it's like a virus that'll just burrow into you. Just like,
well, Happy Days does get in your head and like cheers and stuff. Yeah. Damn it.
We got. I said we got.
Why? What's wrong with that?
I want to say we have. I want to consciously be able to control the words that come out of my mouth.
Yeah, God.
Good job.
Finally.
Ah.
Finally, it has happened to Nick. Got it right, and then RJ didn't screw it up afterwards.
That's funny.